Good evening, folks, and welcome to 14th episode of the Rahul Nair Finance Show. You're listening to the Daily Deal Room, from startups to stock markets, where we decode the business buzz of the day, crisp, clear, and to the point.
Today is 29th July 2025. Before we begin, here's a quick disclaimer. This podcast is for educational purposes only. It is not a buy or sell recommendation. Always consult a financial advisor before making investment decisions.
Let's start with our first segment, the market wrap, closing bell. Let's start with the markets, which closed on a strong note today. All major indices ended in the green. Nifty 50 climbed to 24,821.10, up 140.20 points, or 0.57%. Nifty Bank settled at 56,222, up by 137.10 points, or 0.24%. Nifty Midcap 100 rose to 57,984.85, gaining 465.50 points, a 0.81% surge. Nifty Smallcap 100 finished at 18,251.45, higher by 186.70 points, showing a strong 1.03% rise. The Sensex also performed well, closing at 81,337.95, up 446.93 points, or 0.55%. There was broad-based buying across sectors. Nifty Auto gained 0.82%. Nifty IT barely moved, up just 0.01%. Nifty Pharma led the pack with a 1.37% rise.
Let's continue with our second segment, company news, earnings, and announcements. The Enforcement Directorate, ED, raided over 35 locations in Mumbai and Delhi, probing a 3,000 crore bank loan fraud case linked to Yes Bank and Reliance Group firms. Allegations include diversion of loan funds to group and shell companies, backdated approvals, and inadequate due diligence. Both Reliance Power and Reliance Infra clarified that current operations and investor interests remain unaffected, stressing the raids pertain to old transactions involving Reliance Communications and RHFL, both now distressed or in insolvency. SEBI noted red flags in RHFL's loan book, including a sharp spike in corporate loans from 3,742 crore in FY18 to 8,670 crore in FY19, repeated addresses in borrower records, and financial weakness.
Let's continue with our third segment. Gold, currency, and global news. Gold is quoted at 97,905 per 10 grams, and the rupee stands at 86.84 against the dollar. On the global trade front, a Canalys report says India's smartphone exports to the U.S. surged to 44% in Q2 2025, primarily driven by Apple ramping up its India production. In contrast, U.S. smartphone shipments from China dropped to 25% from 61% amid tariff talks. Starlink will be capped at 2 million users in India, with the government citing high monthly costs, 3,000 rupees. That'll limit it mostly to remote regions. Also, BSNL's 4G rollout is complete, and there are no plans for tariff hikes. And in tech, Samsung Electronics inked a $16.5 billion deal with Tesla to produce next-gen AI6 vehicle chips at its new Texas plant. While Samsung lags in high bandwidth memory compared to SK Hynix and Micron, this partnership may help strengthen their position and possibly influence tariff negotiations between South Korea and the U.S.
Let's continue with our fourth segment, IPO radar. The much-anticipated NSDL IPO opens from July 30 to August 1st. Offer size, 4,011 crore via an offer for sale, OFS, of 5.01 crore shares. Price band, 760 to 800 per share, giving NSDL a valuation of 15,200 to 16,000 crore. The IPO is prompted by SEBI's rule on promoter holding caps after a 2023 stock split. Shareholders like IDBI Bank, NSE, and HDFC Bank are partially exiting. SBI is selling 40 lakh shares for 320 crore, booking an astonishing 39,900% return. IDBI will earn 1,776 crore on a 4.44 crore investment, and Union Bank and NSE also book multi-thousand% returns. A quick compare with CDSL. CDSL focuses on retail, 15.3 crore accounts, 78 to 80% market share, 71 trillion assets. NSDL dominates institutional segment with 3.95 crore accounts, but manages 464 trillion in assets, 89% of India's demat value, and nearly all foreign investor security value. NSDL led tech innovations like SMS alerts and e-voting, runs 65,391 DP centers, and reported FY25 revenue growth of 40% to 1,421 crore, with net profits at 343 crore.
Let's continue with our fifth segment, Private Market Pulse. In private markets, agri-tech startups account for only 2% of venture funding since 2020. Meanwhile, Astra, an AI-driven sales analytics SaaS startup, has shut down only 4 months after closing a round led by Perplexity's founder, citing co-founder disputes and fierce competition. On the funding front, Drizz, an India-based AI-powered mobile app testing platform, raised $2.7 million in seed funding led by Stellaris Venture Partners, with participation from Shastra VC and noted angel investors.
Let's continue with our sixth segment, Industry Insight. India's industrial output grew 1.5% YOY in June 2025, up from May's 1.2%, but missing expectations. Growth was driven entirely by manufacturing, which expanded 3.9%. However, mining and electricity saw contractions, reflecting low coal prices and sluggish demand from China. That wraps up today's episode of the Rahul Nair Finance Show, brought to you under our daily series, The Daily Deal Room, from startups to stock markets. If you liked this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends, colleagues, or anyone who's into business and investing.
We'll catch you tomorrow with more updates. Until then, stay curious, stay invested.